Well, some of the newest polls show Bernie Sanders leading the presidential pack in New Hampshire, but he might have lost some votes here in Massachusetts last night when he said that even the Boston Marathon bomber should have the right to vote. WBZ's John Keller joins us now. John, there's a long history of barring convicts from voting.
Yeah, Liam, this is one of history's oldest forms of punishment, stemming from an ancient moral code that those who violate the rules of society should lose their right to shape them. It dates back to ancient Roman Greece, the notion of, quote, civil death as punishment for criminals, including the right to vote.
We would rather drown the tea than pay an unjust tax.
The practice crossed the Atlantic with the colonists and became a part of state constitutions. But even though the U.S. Constitution was amended in 1870 to ban race-based disenfranchisement, minor and fabricated criminal offenses were used for decades to keep blacks from voting.
You beat people bloody in order that they will not have the privilege to vote. Whenever anyone does not have the right to vote, then every man is hurt.
It took Massachusetts until 2000 to formally ban felons from voting. But as of today, only 2 states, Maine and Vermont, allow them to vote from prison, while 38 states restore the right after their time is served.
Does this mean that you would support enfranchising people like the Boston Marathon bomber, a convicted terrorist and murderer?
I think the right to vote is inherent to our democracy. Yes.
Perhaps the lenient policy of his home state has encouraged Sanders to stake out an absolutist position.
Hard disagree.
But to presidential candidate Eric Swalwell, a former prosecutor turned congressman, the ancient practice of felon disenfranchisement still has value.
Some people are just irredeemable, should not be able to vote, and I strongly disagree.
So this is obviously separate from the debate of once you're out of prison, should you then have your voting rights restored? But that's not what Sanders said. He said while you're in prison, even as a felon, even the worst kind of felon. Do you think this hurts him politically?
Well, let me put it this way, Liam. He makes a big deal about his electability vis-a-vis President Trump. He does well in potential head-to-head polling. I don't think this works very well. I mean, the moderator at the CNN event pointed out to him, you know, this is an attack ad that's writing itself. And so I think it's a problem, and he's going to have to answer for it. Interesting the way he ducked out of answering questions about it today.
We'll see what the poll numbers show. John Keller, thank you very much.